I just finished reading Penny, a graphic memoir by Karl Stevens. And how this book came on my radar was that I kept seeing posts about it on my Instagram account, but it weren't ads. They were just creators and people that I follow that were posting this book. So I'm a cat owner, and so I figured that'd be interesting to get. Book is a trade paperback, comes with the French flaps. And you'll see all this work, all these pages are all painted. So here's a little intro into Penny as a kitten on the street. And the whole premise is that this is how Karl Stevens' cat Penny sees the world and his place in it. It includes jokes, it includes metaphysical thoughts about the universe, questions about existence, but it's skewed to the ideas of a cat. So when it contrasts to the human reaction, it's kind of funny. And as a cat owner, this is something that it's not like Garfield where every strip is a gag and they have recurring things about lasagna and things like that. But there is quite a bit of humor. Sometimes a little dry, a little bit more straightforward, but it is fun, but it's not like a gag book. So one thing that I noticed early on was this was dedicated to the memory of Tom Spurgeon. And Tom Spurgeon, he only became on my radar, I believe, after he died in November of 2019. I didn't really start reading Independence until then. And I know since that time, the influence that he had on the industry, he was beloved in the industry by so many people. And so I thought this was a nice touch to see that his memory is still alive. And just seeing this, I just thought this was really classy and it was nice. And so like this scene, like if you have a cat, cats go in the boxes and they love to hide in boxes, but then he's having these really metaphysical thoughts, these psychedelic thoughts, and this almost has like a Kirby-ish kind of thing where it's like all these colors and you see all this space. And then he's like, am I in another world? He starts thinking that he's occupying two places at once in existence. And then the humans are like, oh, Penny, is that your new house? And then the other owner's like, do you think she knows how to get out? Which is something that I made a comment on, which is funny because this cat's having these deep thoughts and then the humans are like, oh, isn't that cute? You're in a box. The laser pointer thing, which is a thing. I don't know why cats scratch it, but in his case, he's like the red-eyed demon is back and it freaks him out. And so some of the panels run like 2 panels. I mean, some of the stories, the vignettes will run 2 panels. Sometimes they'll run the whole page. And on occasion, there are some that last several pages. And at the end of the day, this cat is still a cat. So this cat, for instance, Penny is seeing this bird fly free, and then he's like, oh, it's a stupid seagull. Goes, I sigh, what I wouldn't give a chance to murder it. Because that's what a cat would do. A cat would see a seagull or bird and just attack it. That's just their instinct. So there's this kind of dry humor, but then there's little vignettes that last several pages. One is when they go on vacation. The vacation. And if you ever gone on vacation with a cat, as soon as they see the suitcases, they freak. They like their routine and they kind of, I think in my mind, they consider humans to be the pets. So there's several pages in his thoughts about, we're just going to go away and never come back. Which you wonder sometimes if that's what the cats think, like, are you going to come back? Because they have no concept of going on a vacation or coming back. So you have that. He has a relationship with his like toys. There's stories about catnip. There's a rather, he'll hear voices coming and then he's like, forget it. So there's this one scene where one of the owners, they decide to take a parakeet and watch it for a few friends. And you have Penny who's trying to find a way to get her hands on the parakeet. And, you're yelling, Penny, get down. So, and he's having dreams about the parakeet, which if you had a house with a cat and you introduce a parakeet, you know that cat is going to do everything he can to get his hands on that parakeet and have it for lunch. So, I mean, the parakeet never is in danger and it never dies or anything. It's just kind of funny. So it's humorous, but it's not a Garfield kind of slapstick humor. It's very well thought out. It's well drawn. All these pages are painted, and Karl Stevens' bio and Instagram, I believe recently he had a gallery display of the original art. And the original art is these pretty large size paintings, and they're really lovely. They're also unfortunately out of my price range. Not so I'm not on the price, it's just I was thinking, man, I'd like to own a piece of that art. And then when I saw it, I was like, well, maybe the next stimulus, I don't know. So, and they talk about moving, which is another thing that's kind of traumatic to cats and how the cats see it. So if you're a cat owner, oh, this is also Penny's escape, where Penny decides to leave the apartment and get out of the building and go on the streets. And then eventually Penny is found by the owners. Is found by the owners, and they talk about the cage, it's back, because, there's a cat carrier, but he considers it a cage. And I throw a blanket on the cat, so that way you can wrap it up, so that way they don't, run away. So if you're a cat owner, I think you'll find this book nice. It's nuanced. There are some scenes that are very funny, very true to a cat, and it kind of makes you wonder that we look at cats sometimes and why do they do the things they do? And that's one of the great mysteries of the universe. And then this sometimes gives the idea of what's going on in their mind, and it's a lot different than what we would think as the owners. So this book was fun, a great read, very well done. I recommend it, especially if you're a cat owner. It's not it's not going to be a guffaw. There are some things that are actually pretty funny, but it's more subtle, and the thinking of what goes on in the mind of a cat. The ending is a little bit, the last story is one of those things that's did that really happen, or was that in their imagination, which was a nice little touch. And again, it's a fun book, nice book. If you're a cat owner, it's a great book to have. The art is very well done. Again, go to his bio and see some of these original art pieces hanging on a gallery wall. It's pretty impressive, and it's a fun book. It's a nice light book, but again, it makes you look at your cat and think, is that what they're thinking? Because you really don't know. Dogs are more predictable. Dogs are very loyal. Cats, sometimes you wonder what their whole motivation is, other than sleeping 15 hours a day and eating and scratching furniture at times. But anyway, this is a good book. I liked it. And again, if you're a cat lover, you own cats, I think you'll get a lot out of it. And I'm going to be looking for more Karl Stevens' work. It's really good. It's really good work. And that's what I enjoyed. Thanks.